what's the next event or turn in court? I mean, now basically they've told you that because of national security and their international partners, you're not allowed to use one of the most vital tools in your defensive toolkit. So where do you go from here? What do you expect will happen next?
Yeah, lots changed now. Now both sides have doubled down. We're going to a jury trial. Has to be a jury trial under the Constitution because it's a serious Commonwealth offence. Now, I've always said I'm not afraid of a jury trial. I'd prefer to be judged by everyday Australians than by the military and senior public servants. But the problem I fear now is that I'm simply not going to get a fair trial. They've shown the lengths that they will go to stop my evidence going out. And the judges are powerless to stop them because they say, this is not the law, Your Honour. This is not about the law. This is about protecting Australia's national security. And so they're able to trump the law. So I've got no confidence anymore that I'll get a fair trial because they'll keep interrupting and saying, you're not allowed to say this, you're not allowed to say that. They would be able to do something like, because I'm considered a national security threat. This is, again, it's quite a good way to bring it, how bad things are, to the attention of the world and the attention of people of Australia. Because I'm classified as a terrorist, and it's more than just a word, it actually means they can do things to me that they couldn't do to someone who's just charged with tax evasion. Although, again, they probably could be charged, considered a terrorist. Because I'm considered a national security threat, it's not impossible that our security services would stack the jury. They would get people to pretend that they're everyday Australians. They would go to the court system in the ACT and they would flash their badges like in all the movies and say, we're from the government. This is above your pay grade, but this trial needs to go a certain way in order for Australia to be protected in the future. You're going to hand over the jury selection to us. You're not going to complain. It's not illegal because we are protecting Australia from its threats. And they could do it. They could put spies in as jurors. They could influence the trial in lots of ways, and it wouldn't even be illegal. They would be treating it as if they were at war in Afghanistan, and they were putting in false information to try to fool the Taliban, which they did. You would know it all about it from Syria, sort of false flag operations.
Right.
We don't just do false flag operations, but the reason we get away with false flag operations is we say, we really want to go to war in Syria, blah, 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 regime change, whatever it is their goal is. And then they will plant the poison gas themselves, or whatever it is, they will kill people and blame it on the enemy. Now, we know that they do that around the world. The US is renowned for doing that. That's how they go to war. Weapons of mass destruction, for example. They got caught out on that. But people didn't think through the implications to say that wasn't the only time. That was the time they got caught. The Iran-Contra deal, for anyone old enough, which was pretty outrageous considering how publicly the US opposes Iran. But in order to get around funding of terrorists in Nicaragua and that part of the world, they were willing to do a deal with Iran, a secret deal. Why not? And nobody thought, they thought that was just pretty funny, Oliver North and whatever. Yeah, we'll do a secret deal with our enemies, supposed enemies, maybe they're not real enemies, in order to finance terrorism. And so nobody in the Congress knows about it. So they can actually do that sort of stuff domestically as well. It's not very well known, but they could. I have a pretty good chance now they won't leave my jury trial up to chance. But again, my biggest weapon is not to worry about it, to hold my head up high, and to say, look, I like myself. I know I've done the right thing. My conscience is clear. I've been a soldier, and I'm proud of myself that I've managed to withstand 10 years of a very difficult process, and go to jail with an aura of confidence and likability, and my head held up high, because that will annoy them. They will hate that. They will really hate that. They want me to be coward. They want me to be like, oh my God, don't put me in jail, because that's what they'd be like. Most of the people I'm fighting, would do anything. They would give up any principle, any legal matter, if they were going to lose their lunch allowance. The idea that I would spend the rest of my life in prison because I believe I'm right, and I'm not afraid of that, that really scares them, because they think, who else is going to come after him? And imagine this guy who was very much inside the system, this guy who saw all the secret documents, this guy who's got 3 law degrees, he says we are the bad guys, and he is happy to go to jail. That will scare them. They'll probably try to smear me in some sort of way, but I mean, that will be the best thing I can. I thought about it last night, and you necessarily get caught up in the minutiae of your case. And of course, you, as a lawyer as well, you're thinking, maybe we'll do this, maybe we'll do that. But then last night I thought, look, don't try too hard. That will just give them satisfaction. Hold your head up high. Acknowledge you're probably going into a rigged casino. You're probably going into a rigged court, and nothing demonstrates how bad the situation is when the US are interfering in our court system to make sure I go to jail, even though
that is
I've
incredible.
clearly done the right thing.